Hello again, welcome back everyone. LiquorHound here with you. Thank you for joining me once again for another spirit review video. And today we're going to be taking a look at the WhistlePig Old World Straight Rye Whiskey provided to me by WhistlePig themselves. Now I wanted to review it for them and of course at the same time let you know exactly what I thought about this sample. Now WhistlePig has been around for several years. They're based out in Vermont. Been doing some wonderful stuff like the old 10, 11-year-old ryes, and that was a limited 11-year-old. They did a Boss Hog, that big straight rye whiskey, cask strength, amazing stuff. But this bottle is kind of leaning more on their experimentational side. Dave Pickerel has been taking some of these sourced straight rye whiskeys from, for a long time it was Canada, but now he's actually going to MGP there in Indiana and sourcing from them. But what he does is he takes it back with him to Vermont where he does further maturation. Further maturation in different types of casks. What went into this one was 63% Madeira cask matured whiskey, 30% Sauternes, that's a French sweet wine, and 7% port, another Portuguese, just like the Madeira casks, sweeter style of red wine coming out of Portugal. Alright, so what he did was he actually works his magic, blends those three matured whiskeys together, and this is what you get here. It's actually bottled at 90 proof, and it's actually retailing somewhere around $100 to $120, somewhere in there. But let's go ahead and get to the nose on this one. I'm pretty intrigued by all that wine, sweet wine characteristics that we should be able to find in here. Oh, very, very nice. The one thing I'll say about it, immediately on the nose, it's like sweet red berries, a sweet wine aspect in the background, those mix of red fruits, red berries, plums. A really nice vanilla characteristic running throughout. But the thing I'm most surprised about is how the rye whiskey has not lost its character in here. I can still smell that typical rye grain whiskey spiciness coming through. But wow, yeah, tons of fruits on top of that. The oak is in there as well, but it's not dominating, it's in the back. At 12 years old, I wouldn't really expect that wood to be having a super heavy influence. Very, very nice. Let's go ahead and get to the taste. A little bit of that combination again, red fruits, berries, cinnamon. What is that? Wow, is that orange peels? Almost like an orange liqueur, like a Grand Marnier or... Very, very nice. Okay. That's nice. Let's go ahead and go to that second one. Wow, just like the nose. Wow, it's developing. Just like the nose, it's full of red fruits. Straight rye character throughout, has not lost. It's very, very soft. When it enters, it's fairly creamy. It's not super oily. It's probably right there in the middle of the road. But as it enters, it washes over your palate. It actually provides a lot of that sweet red wine fruit characteristics over. The vanilla's in there, caramel's in there. Oh, that rye. The rye grain and spice actually arrive as the cinnamon kind of creeps in on that mid palate. On the back end is where I'm really, and on the finish is where you're really chewing on a lot of that rye characteristic. Sweet oak, very, very sweet oak in the finish. I will say this about this one, how the finish is going on and on. As I'm sitting here, it's just, oh, there's a little bit of that sweet oak. Oh, the red fruits are back. That rye grain is almost like a baked rye bread. That doughiness is lasting throughout into that finish. Almost a whisper of cedar in there in the back as well. Wow. But up front, does not feel hot. Bottled at 90 proof again. It's just really, really well-balanced rye whiskey. Right up front, you get a lot of those red fruits, but it reminds me of that red licorice, how it's got that little bit of vanilla characteristic mixed in. Cinnamon, clove, little orange peel. Yeah, on the palate it does not feel like orange liqueur. On the nose it's smelled a little bit like that, but not on the palate. On the palate it's just orange peels mixed in with those red fruits on top of that nice rye base. Caramel, wow, that caramel's coming on. A whisper of that barrel char coming in on that finish as well. Overall, as far as the rye whiskey category is concerned, I think this is a great addition. You know, he's experimenting here, so you're getting a lot of different profiles into that flavor component, but it actually makes it very, very complex. Again, the only thing I would say about it is I wish it was maybe a little bit oilier, but that comes with age a lot of times. So this is just 12 years old. I really shouldn't be expecting a really heavily oily whiskey, but for $100, $120, I think it's really nice. Like I said, it's a good addition to the rye whiskey category because you're not just sitting there, oh, it's another straight rye, it's another straight rye. This one's actually, bang, a lot of different, those flavor components are coming in. Really well done by Dave Pickerel. Again, I thank you for the sample. I think it's a really nice whiskey. If you do happen to see it out there, this is a limited release, so I would keep an eye out for it. And I hope everybody enjoyed this video. Have a great evening and cheers.